Welcome to today's deep dive. Imagine a legendary nightclub gets shut down for severe code violations.
Right, like the really serious ones?
Yeah, exactly. They spend 3 years tearing the place down, pulling permits, and building the safest, most fireproof club in the world.
But nobody shows up.
Right. When they finally reopen the doors, they realize all the cool kids found a new place to party 2 years ago.
Okay.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're looking at a 2026 market evaluation of Binance.us.
Which is just a phenomenal case study.
It really is. Our mission today is to explore the ultimate paradox of how an exchange became legally bulletproof but commercially starved. And it starts back in the 2023 collapse.
Oh, the SEC lawsuit.
Yeah, brutal SEC lawsuit that basically severed their fiat rails. No dollars coming in, no dollars going out. They were forced to go crypto only.
Which, triggered an immediate devastating 75% drop in revenue, just a massive cliff.
It's just brutal. And before we get into the political shifts that happen next, I want to explicitly mention to you, listening, we are not endorsing any political viewpoints here. We are simply impartially reporting the source material's facts regarding these regulatory shifts.
Right, just looking at the timeline of events, because what's fascinating here is that the legal onslaught wasn't just civil.
Right, the DOJ stepped in.
Yeah, they were hit with a historic $4.3 billion Department of Justice settlement. Billion with a B.
Wow.
But the unintended consequence of that settlement is really what defines the company today, because the DOJ mandated an independent compliance monitor to oversee the exchange.
So they basically had someone looking over their shoulder constantly.
Exactly. By punishing them for severe anti-money laundering failures, the DOJ forced them to tear down their opaque systems. They inadvertently transformed Binance US into one of the most rigorously audited, secure vaults in traditional finance.
So they suddenly become this hyper-compliant fortress. And then the political winds shift.
Well, yeah, looking strictly at the source data, the 2025 reversal was fueled by $130 million in crypto super PICs.
That's a ton of money.
It is. And a pro-crypto shift under the Trump administration, which actually included a presidential pardon for founder Changpeng Zhao.
Right. And ultimately, the SEC dropped its case with prejudice, which is sort of like surviving a terminal illness, right?
Yeah, the illness is cured.
You wake up and you're cured, but you realize all your friends, or in this case, your liquidity, moved on to competitors like Coinbase and Kraken.
Because traders don't just come back because you won a lawsuit. Liquidity is incredibly sticky,
It is. So they had to deploy a desperate hook to buy it back. And that brings us to their 2026 comeback strategy. They restored USD access and rolled out Tier 0 fees. We are talking 0% maker fees and a microscopic 0.01% taker fee.
Which is basically nothing.
Yeah. So what does this all mean for you, the listeners? Is this just free trading?
Well, no. I mean, nothing is truly free. If we connect this to the bigger picture, Binance.us has to subsidize this somewhere.
Right, because they're bleeding money on infrastructure and compliance. How are they paying for that?
They are acting as a toll collector on the back end. If you stake your crypto with them, they take a massive cut, up to 35% of your staking yields.
Wait, really? 35%?
Yeah, depending on the asset. So it's not really a trading platform anymore. It's a yield harvesting machine in disguise.
That is a huge hitting cost. And there's an even bigger usability cost tied to that DOJ monitor you mentioned. The source has this wild anecdote about a user who sent $5,000 in USDC.
Oh, the Arbitrum transfer.
You're right, using the Arbitrum network, and the system just locked it up completely. Just an automated, unhelpful compliance freeze.
Because the DOJ monitor requires strict path tracing. Sending tokens on an unsupported layer 2 chain like Arbitrum triggers an automatic quarantine. The system locks it because it can't legally verify the origin.
And there's no human support to fix it.
None. The compliance engines are tuned to maximum sensitivity, so you just get scripted AI rejections.
Which is exactly why you should care about this. Chasing 0% front-end fees on an illiquid exchange can ultimately cost you far more in execution slippage and trapped funds.
Absolutely. You try to buy a bunch of Bitcoin, your order slips up the empty order book, and you lose way more on a terrible price than you saved in fees.
Exactly. So I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to mull over today. If a financial platform achieves absolute regulatory perfection and impenetrable security, but its draconian rules drive away every single customer, has it built a functioning market or just an empty digital fortress?